Welcome if this your first time on the channel. Today we talking Kendrick Lamar and the game. This is one battle Kendrick Lamar cannot win. He cannot beat the game. The reason Pusha T and Kendrick Lamar was able to beat Drake is because Drake can't go as far as they can go because he's so popular. The game will take it as far as you want to go. He will literally say anything on a record, but his style is what's going to beat Kendrick Lamar. Make sure y'all subscribe if this your first time here too. Click that like button. I appreciate you. And check out my other channel. It's a sports channel called Chief Mac. That's really my main channel. This is for hip hop though. Now, with Kendrick Lamar going up against the game, he stands no chance. And I'm going to tell you why. The game has bars. The one thing that Kendrick Lamar lacks the most, I don't know if people don't really understand that concept or get it, but when Kendrick Lamar raps, and he's been rapping the same way since he came out, he changes his cadence, he changes his flow when he rap, but he does not have bars like that. He changed his voice. That's what he do. He changed his voice and his cadence and his flow to keep you engaged in the rap. But when you listen to the rap, he might have 2 bars every 5 songs or something crazy. Go back and listen to Meet the Grams, and you'll see I'm not lying. He told a story that led up to Drake having this imaginary child, right? But when he tells that story, he does not use any bars. None. None whatsoever. He's not a bar-heavy rapper, and the game is. And it's other things out there about Kendrick Lamar that Drake did not touch on. That's what people don't understand. It's some stuff Drake didn't touch on because he's too big, so he didn't touch on it too heavy. And what that is mental health, certain things that didn't happen in TDE with other people's mental health, tying that with Kendrick's mental health. You got Charlemagne the God who always backed Kendrick. He's the mental health person. You got the whole mental health angle that ain't been touched on too heavy. But then you also got the fact that Kendrick Lamar is Game's little brother. The Game put Kendrick Lamar on. One of my favorite records from early Kendrick Lamar was The Game featuring Kendrick Lamar, The City. That was one of the best records that I think that might be the only one they ever did. But that was definitely one of the best features that Kendrick had when he first came out. And when I first heard it, I said, oh, this is fire. And the song sets up Kendrick Lamar. And then you see the video with everybody on stage, and The Game is passing the crown to Kendrick Lamar. So this is Kendrick Lamar's big brother. And let's be real, in the 2000s, The Game put on for the West Coast. You had Snoop Dogg, he would have some hits. Beautiful was a hit. Drop It Like It's Hot was a hit. You know, he had a couple other ones where he was singing and stuff, but, you know, by the end of the 2000s, Snoop Dogg was Snoop Lion. You know, so he was changing. Snoop, you know, got one classic album, then he gave you hits throughout the years. But The Game, the documentary, oh, we remember that. That's a classic album. And then he gave you hits on his other albums. And I'm going to tell you something. An album that The Game got that a lot of people sleep on is that Jesus Peace album. That's a great album. When I say I mean a great album. He got other good albums for sure. Documentary 2, all that stuff. But the Jesus Peace album is a great album. He got a lot of great songs, bunch of great features too. There's so many features on that album. But the Game style, because he's so bar heavy, he will go crazy against Kendrick Lamar because Kendrick Lamar lacks bars. Now, I told you one thing that hasn't been really touched on when it comes to Kendrick Lamar and TDE. That's the whole mental health aspect. But the other thing that hasn't been touched on is Isaiah Rashad. Drake ain't gonna touch on that. He not gonna touch on it and do it dirty where he, tie Kendrick to it and Top Dog and all that. He not gonna do it like that because he's too big. The game will go there and not care about any, group trying to attack him, go after him, or anything. The game ain't gonna care. That's the deal breaker. Those are two things that literally ain't really been touched on. Because Drake ain't gonna do it because those two groups would really go after Drake and really be trying to take him down because he's so big. But the game is similar to Pusha T. These are older artists that will go wherever you want to go with it. They gonna take it where they don't supposed to take it and then go a little further after that. So I can imagine, or if TDE Punch is smart, if Top Dog is smart, if Kendrick got somebody over there that's advising him that's smart, maybe Glasses Malone could talk to him. Somebody needs to tell him. I seen another video with the company man, and he was with a guy named Stat, and he was talking about him talking to the game and talking to Kendrick. Maybe he needs to advise Kendrick. Do not do this. You cannot beat the game. This big bro, he bar heavy, and he gonna go super far with it. But those are the reasons why I don't see Kendrick beating the game at all, especially this form of Kendrick. Because let's just be real. Nobody's honest about Kendrick and his new music in this decade. Nobody's completely honest. It's so far below the previous decade music. Good Kid, Mad City, and Damn is like way above these two albums he just put out. I watch people gas up that G and X album. Oh my God. They act like that album was amazing. Hey now, say now. Hey now, say now. That chorus is horrible. The G and X, the title track, horrible. He got a bunch of songs on there like that, man. Where you listen, the best song was Reincarnated. Whacked Out Murals was great. But Reincarnated is a song that once you hear once, you really don't got to hear again. It's similar to the J. Cole What If song. As soon as you hear it, you're like, oh, okay, great concept, great song. Don't got to listen to it ever again. So he had that. He had Whacked Out Mirrors. TV Off was amazing. That was my favorite song from that album. TV Off and Whacked Out Mirrors. And then he had the girl song, Luther. So the rest of that album, though, nah. Not it. And the album before that was the mental health album. So this decade, when you're talking about albums, Kendrick don't got a great album to me. And his rapping style, besides Euphoria was crazy. Euphoria, Not Like Us was a big hit. And Euphoria, Euphoria is his best rap performance. And then Whacked Out Murals, Not Like Us. That's what he got in this decade. Like That was a great feature too. But he don't got like a crazy amount of songs. He don't got a great album. It's a lot you could really touch on with Kendrick in this decade. J. Cole touched on a little bit, but then he apologized. He got out the battle. So I think the game, if they do battle, and I think the game won a battle too, because it put him right back in the spotlight. Let's be real. Let's talk from the other angle too, right? Because I did enough with Kendrick and saying how Kendrick can't beat Game. The Game, oh, this will be great for his career. Let's not even, The Game want this battle. Best believe The Game would love to do this battle because he'll win. We've seen him do 300 bars, 400 bars, 500 bars. He will win, but it'll put him back in the spotlight. So The Game definitely want this. And you can see, if y'all been looking at Twitter and, you can see The Game have said some things where, or it might have been on IG, one of them, where he said something like, he gonna expose some people. So, these are the things and the reasons why I think The Game would win. But he probably know other stuff too, because they from the same place. But y'all let me know, do you think Kendrick stands a chance against The Game with his style currently, Kendrick Lamar's style currently, against The Game bar heavy? I could go as low as you want to go with his style. I don't think Kendrick stands a chance, man. Y'all let me know in the comments. As always, if this is your first time here, make sure you sub to the channel. Check out the other content. Click that like button. Y'all be easy. Be safe. Peace.